Welcome to Hamburger's Stand. I'm Robert Hamburger. My guest today is John Zaugg. He's the author of the book, The Truth, Turning the Lights Back On in America. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much, Robert. It's a pleasure.
Tell me about your book.
This is a book that addresses the most important challenge facing this country. What are we going to do to restore the future for our children? We have to face this question.
What will we do to restore the future for our children?
The single biggest challenge is we have to define a shared moral compass that we can agree on as how we solve problems to make everybody have the opportunity of life that they deserve that a free society promises. What motivated me to write this is we all are seeing what's happening in America today and in the world, and I think we have see growing concerns. And this has been kind of a hobby of mine. I can remember back when I was in grade school or the first grade, my grandparents conveyed a message on a regular basis that they wanted to make the world a better place for me and their grandchildren, etc. And they had lived through the Great Depression and the Second World War, and it was their mission that this would not happen again to their future generations. And everything they did conveyed that. By the time I got to college, that promise was disappearing. I went to college during the Vietnam War, and we had a government that was drafting young people out of college and sending them off to a needless war. Today I look at what's happening, and that promise is gone. We have our children and grandchildren hanging by their fingers on the edge of a cliff, and we're making matters worse.
But today, the politicians, the media throw around the world the word freedom like it's lingo. And it to the point where it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yes, I think you can actually see democracy and freedom growing to some extent around the world. The problem is, even here in the United States, do we have a good, clear understanding of what is required to live in a free society? And my basic position is freedom means living as responsible adults. Okay, what does living as a responsible adult require of each of us? And until we grasp that concept, and in my opinion start to teach it clear down in the grade school level, we're not going to achieve the aspirations that we should be striving for. So that's the topic of the book. In fact, there are lots of books out there about, yes, we're headed for a collapse. There are books out there about things that have gone wrong and things that have gone right. But what I try to do is focus on that question, what do we have to do to put back together the confidence in the future that we should be conveying?
What do we have to do?
Well, there's three basic problems that are not that complicated. One is we have to get the 1,000-pound gorilla off our backs. And the 1,000-pound gorilla is massive government, massive taxes, and massive deficit spending, which is debt that we're passing on to our children. I don't think that comes as any shock to anybody. We know we have to do that. The second thing we have to do is we have to end this funny money, fake money, inflation, which is what's driving the rich and the poor apart farther and farther. And we have to do that. There just is no way we can run a stable economy without a stable currency. And the third thing, and this is probably the one that I talk about the most and is the most difficult, we have to define a shared moral compass that we can all live in accordance with, that enables us to live in peace and cooperation with one another and our neighbors. And that's the one that I spend the most on, because the other ones that pretty much people understand. You got to have a stable currency and you got to get the 1,000-pound gorilla off our back. But what values should we practice in our lives in order to be successful in our opportunity of life?
What values should we be practicing?
Excellent. The very next question is really, I come down to two core values that are really very straightforward. They are honesty and respect. Honesty is how you should deal with everything you do in life. Respect is you want to be respected in life, and in order to do that, you have to respect everybody else. That's what a free society stands on, is that respect.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
I'm Robert Hamburger, and this is Hamburger's Stand.